Can I just start by saying, to continue the conversation from last night, if you're going to pitch Josh Hader in the ninth inning, which, by the way, has its own argument whether you should or shouldn't tie game on the road, but if you're going to pitch Josh Hader in the ninth inning, then you can start the inning with Josh Hader. Because once you bring Josh Hader into a game with first and second and one out in a spot he doesn't typically pitch in, you've opened yourself up. You've opened up a can of worms, and you've opened yourself up to just all types of second guessing if you don't find a way out of that inning. And Bob Melvin, for whatever reason, Jim, and I know it's like we're mid-conversation here, he lacks a feel. And now he's overthinking it. And he lacks a feel. This is something I would have said last year. We did say last year, if there's one thing I can definitively say about Bob Melvin in those spots with his bullpen, he lacks feel. He overthinks. And he's prone to making a mistake in that spot. I think he did it again. I'm not saying it's the sole reason why they lose this game. There's a number of reasons why they did. But back-to-back nights, deja vu all over again, we're talking about the exact same thing in the exact same spot.
You know when a shooter is cold, ice cold from the field, he can't make a shot, or a pitcher is going through a slump, or whatever the case may be, like, I 100% agree with you. Right now, every move that Bob Melvin makes feels like it's backfired on him or it doesn't work. Now, has he made some moves over the last 26 games that have worked? Yeah, but they're more magnified when they are a team under 500 looking to get above 500, and they lose those games because the moves he has made don't work, or the players that he puts in position don't come through. So he is on a cold streak right now when they honestly can't afford to keep losing at this pace. And it's just all bad. It is all bad from the top to bottom, from the players to Melvin to everybody involved. It's just nothing is working and nothing is going their way right now.
Let me ask you this, and I agree with you. By the way, John and Jim with you on the wrap-up show. Please subscribe if you're here. Good days, bad days, we are here for you. Please subscribe, smash the like button, and thank you for the supers. We're going to get to all the supers. You guys were unbelievable last night. And if you want to support this channel, please consider a super chat. Click the $sign in the chat box. As you know, we get to every single super. If you want to vent tonight, vent with the super. Click the $sign below the chat box. We'll get to all of them. I don't know what world we're living in. You're not willing to pitch Josh Hader for a 5-out save in the National League Championship Series. So even if Josh Hader gets you those 2 outs in the ninth inning, I don't think he's throwing 3 outs in the 10th inning. I just don't. So I don't even know what the plan is. It's very desperate to me. You're asking the world of someone. You might say, well, Josh Hader needs to throw strikes. Josh Hader needs to get out of that spot. That's fine. You're putting someone in a really no-win situation. First and second, 1 out, and you're coming into the game in that spot in the ninth inning. That's not what closers. They don't even pitch in tie games. If you want to pitch them in a tie game with a clean inning, okay. And whatever happens, whatever happens. To put him on the mound with first and second and 1 out and ask him to clean up that mess, to me is just, it's asking too much. Walking in the winning run isn't ideal, but again, you're putting your closer in a situation he shouldn't be in my opinion. And that's what Bob Melvin did tonight. And it's the second consecutive night you're second guessing the manager. And it's so much more than the manager, obviously. This team has big concerns right now. They're 5 games out of a playoff spot. What? They're 5 games out of a playoff spot. So there's huge concerns right now. They're still not hitting with men in scoring position. They got problems up and down the lineup, Jim. But it's going to start and end tonight with Bob Melvin. I just know it is.
Oh, from the comments on my social media, by the way, people are mad at me for some fucking reason. Why? It's like,
I love it.
It's 1, they can't take a joke. 2, I don't know, just whatever. It's
imagine if you said it about Ohtani.
Oh yeah, great. You know, and whatever. Keep fucking talking. I don't care. Last night, like I said, felt like one of those scheduled losses if it was a close game late and you had to go to who you had to go to, right? So in that sense, that's why I wasn't as critical of Bob Melvin last night, because what was he given in that situation? He was given shit, and he was expected to make flaming yawn out of it. Like, hey, What do you want me to do here? You want me to start Hill for another inning? We're gonna have him pitch 3 innings, which he's never done his entire career. We need another righty in the pen. We have Luis Garcia, who was nails for us last year. What do you want me to do there? Like, what do you want me to do? Honeywell's not good in those late game situations in close games. Like, what do you want me to do? So that's why I wasn't this, overly like Bob Melvin needs to be fired last night. But tonight, on the other hand, you do have everybody available, and I'm with you. I think tonight was overthinking, of Bob Melvin with what to do with his bullpen. Steven Wilson had 6 pitches in 1 inning. 6. Now, granted, he's pitched a lot and he's thrown a lot of pitches over the course of last week. Yesterday was his first off day after pitching 2 consecutive days of around 40 pitches. So maybe that plays a factor into it. But then another thing with tonight, with Tim Hill, he faced Austin Slater.
Well, that's because they pinch hit.
I know. But
he was in the game, right?
Right. But last night, he doesn't want to have him face Austin Slater.
Well, he didn't want him to face Austin Slater here either, but he was in the game.
True.
There was he couldn't go anywhere.
Okay.
Right? He already had entered.
That's right. Okay. Then that's fine.
Now, okay, you can put that, hey, by the way, to your point, put that on Bob Melvin.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, you have to know. You have to know that you have to look at.
I mean, start the inning with Wilson.
Right. You start the inning with Wilson, and then so that's what I'm trying to get to is like, and then you get to the 9th inning, and like you said, if you are going to pitch Josh Hader in that inning at any point, why the fuck are you not starting the inning with Josh Hader? It doesn't. What are you saving him for?
Well, the adage, you're saving him for the 10th, but the problem is you need to get to the 10th. You're saving him for the 1-run lead. Mm-hmm. And you're thinking to yourself, you know what? I feel decent heading into the inning. Who was pitching? Nick Martinez?
Nick Martinez, yeah.
So you're thinking, okay, Nick Martinez, can get me through this spot. Gosh darn it. My damn light. Whatever. John goes dark. So have the Padres. I'm with you. I mean, Josh Hader was up in the 8th inning. They were hoping for a lead. Or he was up in the top of the 9th inning. They're hoping to get a lead. They sit him down, and then they bring him in middle of the inning. I mean, it's the discussion point of the night. Let's get to some of these supers. If you're here, subscribe. If you're here, please consider a super. Great way to support our work, support the channel, vent. Click the $sign below the chat box. Let's get this thing started. Benjamin, thank you. Benjamin has used his super tonight, and Benjamin, feel free to contribute with more to rip Jim, and I respect that. He says, I bet the first thing Jim does is defend his daddy, Melvin. I don't know how Jim goes through life with these blinders on. Wake up. Would you like to react to that?
Well, one, I didn't even see this super chat before I talked about Bob Melvin tonight. I don't think I defended Bob Melvin tonight. Did I defend Bob Melvin tonight?
No.
Okay. So there you go. I just think there's a time and place to rip Bob Melvin, but after every fucking loss, all I see is fans wanting to fire Bob Melvin without any context of anything, without any plan to go forward. They just want to rip and fire Bob Melvin, and thinking that doing that will change the course of this season, and overlooking the fact that this team is fucking pathetic at times with just hitting wise and with runners in scoring position. And no. Fire Bob Melvin. That will change everything. That's thing is where I get upset with.
Yeah, and obviously Jim's the last apologist on earth. I mean, he really isn't. But I think his points are valid. I mean, managers don't go because of bad decisions. If they did, you'd have 10 managers in a year. So it just doesn't work like that. I argued vehemently last night that Bob Melvin, is not maybe the manager that you thought you got in 2022. It doesn't make him a bad manager. I'm not saying this guy's the worst manager, but he's not the best. And that's fine. Mm-hmm. That's fine. I think we can all admit he's somewhere in the middle. There's pros and there's cons, like most of the managers, by the way, in the game. And ultimately, he's not going to be the sole reason or even the primary reason they're in or out of the postseason. Either way, he's not going to be the reason they're in. He's not going to be the reason they're out. So, Benjamin, if you want to weigh in more, feel free to contribute again.
Before we get to the other super chats, I have to throw this out there. Like, bro, do you not realize they made the NL fucking CS last year? Or did you just not watch? Because I think that
Right.
he took a team that had all the makings of underperforming and actually turned them into overachievers.
Yeah, that's fair. I mean, they certainly weren't
So,
underachievers.
hey, you want to have some more context? There's your context.
Take that,
Jesus.
Chango Surfo, who's a loyal viewer. Thanks for hanging out. Juan Soto Walks, thank you for the super chat, guys. Thanks for being with us. Padres lose just another tough one to San Francisco. The Giants have won 9 straight. The Padres aren't on life support, but they are in a tough spot as they lose today. Walked off again in San Francisco 4-3. Juan Soto Walks says, Hader should have starred the 9th. GG Bomel. What's GG?
Gotta go, Bomo.
Gotta go. Yeah, I agree. I mean, again, it's easier with hindsight, but I'm not pitching Josh Hader except in a clean inning. That's what listen. If I lose with Nick Martinez in the 9th inning, I lose with Nick Martinez in the 9th inning. I'm fine with it once he starts the inning. And if I lose with Josh Hader in a clean inning in the 9th inning, I'm completely fine with it. Once you get cute and make a mid-inning pitching change and bring Josh Hader in, you are getting yourself in hot water. He used 3 pitchers in the 9th inning yesterday, Jim. 3. And he used 2 pitchers in the 9th inning today. That's unconventional. That is very unconventional, and it didn't work. Either of the nights.
Like you said to start the show, he's on a cold streak right now, and he's making moves that are just not working. They're just not. For a bullpen that has been the second best in all of baseball all year long. Did people forget that this is the second best bullpen in all of baseball for the entire year? At this point in time, he is making moves that are not working out. And you could say he's second guessing himself, or you could say that he's overthinking himself. It could be one or the other. But regardless, the moves that are being made are not working out. And the players that he's putting in these positions are not getting it done. They're just not.
Now, I don't think he's the type of man. This isn't Jace Tingler. I don't think he's the type of manager where like the players are going to lose faith in him. It's Bob Melvin. I mean, I think he was making the same decisions, to be honest, last year. I think there were highs and lows. I thought he made some terrible decisions last year in the postseason, and forget about the NLCS. I think he got away with stuff against the Dodgers, leaving pitchers, starters in too long and getting away with it. It's who he is. I don't think you lose the clubhouse over it. He's a veteran guy. He's got credibility, but that, he's got pros, he's got cons, and his flaw is his bullpen usage at times. Jim, thank you for contributing to John and Jim here on the wrap-up show. He says, got to find a way to split the series. I mean, you do have Darvish Snell for games 3 and 4. Darvish has been up and down, let's be honest, more down than up. He has struggled at times at Oracle. He has struggled at times when weather patterns are weird, which is what you get in San Francisco. And then Blake Snell's been great for Thursday afternoon. So 2 would be beautiful. 1's not ideal. And worse than that, and you have put yourself completely out of NL West contention. I promise you that. They don't win the next 2 days. I will not mention a division title the rest of the year. I won't even theorize on it the rest of the season if they lose the next 2 games.
Yeah. No, if they lose the next 2 games, you can, then there needs to be some serious questions, answered by this team as far as, are they going to even be buyers at the deadline? Are they going to sell? Or where's the future going? It's still June, but where are you going? I mean, you put yourself in a corner if they lose the next 2 games, or even if they, split the next 2 games, where you're still thinking to yourself, this is a situation that's not good, because if by chance they claw back into a playoff spot and make it as the last team and then lose in the first round, is that really benefiting your franchise?
This is the problem with going all in before the flop.
Yep.
It's like you can't go further in. And by the way, and not even going all in. This is the problem with a huge wager or ante or whatever. I'm not really a poker player, but I kind of get it. The problem with that is, now don't go throw bad money at a lot of money. Like, you're already so committed to this season, but now you're going to throw bad money at it if all of a sudden you're 5 games under 500 and it's July 15th. I mean, you can't jeopardize the next 2 years to go chase down something that's not going to happen in 2023. Now, there's a long way to go between now and July 31st. As dumb as it sounds, and we've said it forever, there just is. I mean, they could get swept in the series and then turn around and beat the Nationals 3 straight games. But
good.
You got to find a way to get at least one of the next two, if not both. Michael, thank you for the super. Thank you for your listenership and your viewership. He has been a loyal viewer of ours and supporter of ours really since day one, I think, of the YouTube channel. Michael, thank you. He says, this is torture to watch nightly radio show with thumbs up. Man, we took a lot of calls today on Bob Melvin, on John and Jim. I mean, as many calls as we ever take, Jim. I don't know the number because we don't typically take calls for 3 hours, but we open up the lines. We took 15 calls, 20 calls on it. People are pissed. Mm-hmm. People are pissed.
They're pissed. And it goes to the second that this team is where they're at, it's the easiest low-hanging fruit of every single person. Fire the manager.
Right. And it's not, hey, Manny Machado.
I don't think it, like, you can't. I personally think that doing that is the easy way out. And it's not thinking things through. Like, has Bob Melvin been the greatest manager? No, he hasn't. Has he done things that you are upset with? Absolutely. Has he made head-scratching moves? Absolutely. But then my response to, hey, they just need to fire Bob Melvin is, who are you going to get that's better? And, by the way, do you want AJ Preller to be hiring another manager when he has failed miserably, not once, not twice, not 3 times? You fire Bob Melvin, that's a 4th time. You really want to go through that?
They can't fire Bob Melvin because AJ Preller can't hire another manager unless Bob Melvin retires. Then he can. If Bob Melvin retires at the end of the 2024 season, go get a manager. Yeah, but you can't fire the manager.
The only way Melvin is gone, which it seems like 80% of the people want, which is just crazy to me. It's going to have to be a Bob Melvin walks away from this situation. Because if it's the other way around and Preller fires Bob Melvin, if you're Peter Seidler, you just got to let everyone go at that situation. At that point, you're letting everybody go. You can't have this happen again where AJ Preller has to hire a new manager because he had to fire Bob Melvin. That's just
who's he going to hire? ChatGPT? I mean, himself?
Yeah.
The radio announcer? Me? I mean, what's next?
Yeah.
Benjamin, thank you again. Now, this is Benjamin who ripped Jim with the first super of the night. Here he takes a shot at Melvin. He says, when's Melvin going to deal with Machado? He can't. We took a call on this today. Let me start here, and then Jim can go off. What are we talking about? The organization, the owner of the team, just gave Manny Machado a lifetime contract for $350 million. He will be the highest paid player in the history of the franchise. There will not be a close second, and that includes Fernando Tatis Jr. and Xander Bogaerts and whomever else. We'll see about Juan Soto. But what are you talking about? It's Manny Machado's team. You want Bob Melvin to go after Manny Machado, who, by the way, had 2 hits tonight and made as good of a defensive play as you can make again. He's done it routinely. He's done it often. He's made huge plays in June. I know he hasn't hit, but it's not like he's not hitting by choice. He's helping the team. Look at the defensive play he made, the step on third in one motion, throw to home to complete a double play and preserve whatever the game was in that moment. Deal with what? What did Manny Machado do that was so egregious tonight or last night? What, he didn't sprint down the line last night? By the way, he did tonight, and he legged out a ball when the throw was up the line. The first baseman came off the bag in the 9th inning. Where's the credit? I mean, what do you want Manny Machado to do? He's had a bad offensive year. So what? You're supposed to chew him out? He's had a bad offensive year?
Yeah. Manny is probably, you get 3rd most powerful person in this franchise. Nobody's going to talk down to Manny Machado. No one's going to get in Manny Machado's face. No one's going to get in Manny Machado for not hustling. Like, it's not going to happen. Manny is Manny Machado, and he goes by the beat of his own drum. And the beat of his own drum is, at this point in his career, a Hall of Fame career, right?
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Does Manny do things
towards it?
Does Manny do things that I don't like? Absolutely. Has Manny been dog shit this year? Absolutely. But to be upset that Melvin's not getting in Machado's face, like, I don't know what to tell you there, because that's never going to happen.
It's never going to happen. If you got a problem with Manny Machado, then you have a problem with ownership and the GM. They kept him here, and you should know. Without Manny Machado, I mean, do we really think the Padres are better off short term or medium term without Manny Machado, even with him having a bad year? I mean, give me a break. They're going to be better without Manny Machado. Who would you prefer at third base? Ha-Seong Kim for the next 10 years?
It's the same argument with Bob Melvin. And I see a lot of people in the chat. We'll go to Mike Schilt. Okay.
Great.
Great.
And you're better?
You're better? You think you're better with Mike Schilt?
Nothing would change.
Nothing. The players still suck. They can't get hit with runners in scoring position, and they can't win one-run games.
Is he a bullpen whisperer, Mike Schilt?
Yeah,
not that I know of.
Exactly. Maybe he is, maybe he isn't. But if you're telling me that Mike Schilt is the guy, like you're just throwing shit at a dartboard hoping it sticks.
Let's get to Trevor. Trevor, thank you for the super. Guys, if you want to weigh in, click the $ below the chat box. You have to subscribe if you are here right now. We do appreciate that. He says it's not that he's making bad decisions. It's that Tim Hill wasn't going last night for a third inning when dealing, but can go tonight. He wasn't not going for a third inning. He used that post game as an excuse. I buy that. He didn't go for a third inning because of Gabe Kapler. Credit to Gabe Kapler. He won the managerial chess match. Gabe Kapler went to Austin Slater, who's killed left-handed pitching and has hit Tim Hill before. That's why Tim Hill didn't start the ninth inning. Now, again, he had the excuse post-game, he doesn't throw 3 innings, and I've had the excuse, well, you're not going to throw a guy 3 innings that doesn't throw 3 innings. Tim Hill's got a rubber arm. I got no problem pitching Tim Hill again. It's Tim Hill. What's he throw? He's not throwing 98.
No.
You know? He's a craft guy. So I don't have a problem throwing him again. I think the only reason he really didn't start that inning last night is because Gabe Kapler outflanked, outmaneuvered, outshined, outclassed Bob Melvin last night.
Yeah, again, guys, if you fire Bob Melvin right now, which a lot of people want to, I mean, you fire Bob Melvin right now, that would be, I think, the worst decision that you could make. Because not only are you nuking your season, you're firing a guy that, by all accounts, players really like. I mean, if you looked last year, you saw players like Manny Machado and Joe Musgrove say that, oh, I don't know, he was the best manager they've ever had. You're nuking everything, because the reason why they brought Bob Melvin here is because they needed some guy that was not Jay Stingler and not Andy Green. And then you're going to have AJ Preller again hire another guy, and then in season, because you're not hiring anybody.
He's not hiring anyone.
Anybody in season. You're just elevating Ryan Flaherty or Ryan Christensen or whoever. Like, it's just an elevation. And then the notion, well, the Phillies did it last year with Joe Girardi. Joe Girardi fucking sucks. He can't even hold.
Yeah,
Bob
right.
Melvin's
His track record
jockstrap
with the Phillies wasn't Bob Melvin's. You know, like they had been disappointing. And Rob Thompson, lightning in a bottle. They did the firing much earlier, by the way. It was in May. And it's not happening. It's just not. I mean, we can talk about it all night long. It's not. He's not getting fired tomorrow. He's not.
You want to, I see a comment in here that I know you're going to like blow
get to
up
it.
on.
And then we'll get back to Richard. Thank you, Richard. Thank you guys for the supers. Frank, let me read this.
This fucking take. Oh, like I haven't heard that before.
Hold on. Let me get a sip of water because I'm laughing at him.
Yeah.
Frank. John and Jim aren't even diehard San Diego Padres. Well, we're not Padres.
We're not Padres at all.
They're both transplants that came to San Diego for work. Their take aren't serious. I'm assuming takes. A couple of things. It is true. When my mother gave birth to me, it was not in San Diego, California. I will take all the blame on that.
Yeah,
I am accountable and responsible for that. And it is very fair for Frank to come at both of us. In fact, Jim's mom didn't give birth to him in San Diego, shockingly. It was an amazing decision. Yes. I still have an issue with her because of it. I thought it was really stupid. I told her to drive down, and she was like, no. I'm like, that's stupid.
I'm like, you need to give birth to me in San Diego.
Okay, so there's that. Secondly, Frank, you think we need to do this every single night? Why do you think we do this? Frank, why do you think we do this? You think we do this to maybe interact with San Diego Padres fans, our audience, because it's our livelihood? Or do you think we do this because we're cashing tens of thousands of dollars on the side from the YouTube wrap-up show channel? Is this a money play, Frank? Is that what we're doing? Is it we're doing it for $4 super chats? That's the play? Our time at 11 o'clock at night with a 4-year-old and spouses, and he's getting ready for a wedding, and I'm married and my wife's upstairs. Why are we doing this, Frank? You tell me. Why are you here? You don't have to be here, but whatever we're doing apparently has resonated for you because you're here. You want to go watch someone from San Diego? Go watch someone from San Diego. Feel free. Why are you here? We could block you in 2 seconds. We never block anyone, but if you want to troll, we'll block you. Who cares? You think I could care less? I couldn't.
Here's also a little dirty secret. Anybody else you listen to in this town, Frank, besides maybe like 2, aren't from San Diego
Who cares
originally.
if you're from San Diego? So
Who
what?
fucking cares? You know how many people
What does
are
that even
in?
mean?
Like, I've followed
By
this
the
team
way,
for the last decade. Okay.
dude, our armed service members moved to San Diego. Is that a problem?
Yeah.
Is that a problem?
Yeah. It's a take that is so funny to me because it just, yeah, Frank, if you want fanboys doing this shit, go somewhere else.
Yeah, exactly.
We're not going to be some fucking fanboys that like legitimately want to have Bob Melvin fired, because that
And by the way,
take
if
right
we do,
there
we'll
is
tell you.
irresponsible.
But
Yeah,
we're unbiased. If we do, we'll tell you.
right.
If we want Bob Melvin fired, the first thing I'll say is Bob Melvin should be fired. We can make that determination if I think AJ Preller should be fired, I'll tell you. I don't think he should today. We'll judge him at the end of the year.
Mm-hmm. And everybody's upset in the chat. Everybody's upset. I get it. Like, look, hey, your team right now is not doing well. The Padres are, for expectations, all on purpose, are just shitting away this season for all the money that they have spent. So I get it. It is a frustrating time. And anything that I tweet, it's like, fuck you, Jim. It's like, okay. If I'm making a joke, fuck you. You don't know shit. You're a fucking idiot. Like, I got a lot of that tonight. And I wasn't even like doing anything crazy. I was making a joke, and I'm an idiot, and I'm a fucking clown, and I was called other derogatory things that I can't say on this, that I will not say on this. But if you want to listen to fans talk about this team, then don't listen to us.
Do it.
Because
how many times have we
not
said that?
going to give you that fan perspective, because the fan perspective right now is straight up fire everybody. You want us to say that? Then I don't know what to tell you, man. We're talking through this. We're here for you, and sorry that I wasn't born in San Diego. My bad. My apologies.
Frank, you should start your own channel. That's what you should do.
Yeah. And
all right, let's get back to the Supers.
I've lived here for 14 years. Okay. I'm 34 years old. That's
not good enough.
That's a long time in one city.
No, it's not.
I have followed this
until
team.
You turn 100.
I've been working in radio and media for over almost a decade now, and I've followed this team as close as every single one of you for the last 11 years.
Doesn't matter. Blame your mom.
True.
Richard, thank you for the super. Can't keep reliving the past. That's last year. Not now. Sorry, man. I'm not even sure where we were with this. And that's fair, by the way. That's fair in general. We're not going to, at the end of the year, be like, they were in the NLCS in 2022 and they went 74 and 90 or whatever the math would be, 74 and 88. Fair. At the end of the year, we'll judge this year for what it is. But is last year still somewhat relevant with us only being in June and then making the National League Championship Series last year? I think it's at least somewhat relevant because this book hasn't been finished, But thank you, Richard. Kyle, thank you. He says, what about trying the Mike Schilt experiment? He's on staff and a capable interim replacement. Why not? I mean, would it be the most shocking thing in the history of the world if Bob Melvin stepped aside, or if he was let go, if Mike Schilt came in and there was a level of success under Mike Schilt? No, it wouldn't be the most shocking thing in the world. I'm just saying, why do it? What's the advantage to do it?
There is none, because essentially you're not punting on the season, but this would be I just think it would be catastrophic if you just fire Bob Melvin mid-season. It just
likely it probably would.
And the only, and I will say this, I think the only way that would happen is if literally Manny Machado and Joe Musgrove went to Peter Seidler and AJ Preller and were like, we need a change. But I don't think that's happening.
That's not happening. Yeah, exactly. And that's why he's not going anywhere. Thanks, Kyle. Thank you, John, for the super. He says Ozzie Guillen is available, LOL. And it's funny. I mean, listen, everyone likes the backup quarterback. Everyone likes the prospect. Everyone likes the top. Everyone loves Ethan Salas. We'll see what he looks like when he's here, because the truth is all that matters is what's going on here in the now. And what our managers have value. No question about it, but it's not going to be the end-all be-all. You're not going to say at the end of the year, Bob Melvin's the reason they're in, Bob Melvin's the reason they're out. In all likelihood, would be my guess. Carlos, what's going on, man? Thanks for hanging. He says, thought about it. Bo Mel to blame again, and that's fair. Wilson 6 pitches only and only pitches that 1 inning. Why Nick in the 9th instead of clean inning for Hader?
That's a perfect. I
Yep.
think that is a absolutely perfectly fair question to ask. Like, if you're planning on bringing Josh Hader in the 9th inning with a couple men on, then why aren't you going to start him the 9th inning? That to me tells me he was saving him for the 10th, and he got in a situation where he had no one else to go to but his closer. And thinking in that moment, I'm like, okay, if Hader gets out of this, there's also a 0% chance he starts the next inning. That's just he's not doing that with Josh Hader. So then who do you go to after that? You already have a work. I mean, we were in a situation tonight, John, where we could have been looking at Luis Garcia in that game again if things got weird.
Correct. Yeah, well, he probably would have pitched the 10th inning with a lead. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
Like,
dude.
Would he have not? If Hader threw a lot of pitches in the 9th, who's pitching the 10th? Probably not. Maybe Honeywell. Who knows? I'd have to look at the bullpen.
Who knows, man? It's a lot.
By the way, I just put Frank in timeout. Frank, you're not banned yet, but now you're talking crap. So you got one more chance. You can come out of timeout. You can be cordial, or you can get banned. So that's up to you. And you think we're here for subscribers and super chats? Well, if you're a subscriber, we'll ban you. There goes a subscriber. We could care less. Justin, thank you for the super. He says 2021 Braves were 35-38. Won the World Series. A lot of season left. I mean, that's kind of amazing. 2 years ago.
Mm-hmm.
As dark as this is, as down as we are, as frustrating as it's been,
they still could turn it around.
There's precedent. And yeah, again, if they were 25-48, if they were Cardinal-esque, bury them. You know, you're talking about a 1 in 100 stuff. But at 35-38, you're not talking about 1 in 100 stuff. Odds are getting longer. But this is not 1 in 100 stuff to make the postseason. I don't know about winning the World Series, but it's not 1 in 100 to make the postseason if you're 5 games out. It's just not. Odds are getting, longer. But it's not impossible to envision this team turning around. They just got to turn it around. Stupid as that sounds. Harv, thank you for the super from the UK. He says team doesn't deserve to make postseason, not watching no more. You're going to get that. I mean, there's going to be some people that turn the other way in the Padres, right? Until they get this thing going. I'm sure they're not getting the exact same viewership or listenership or support. I mean, they are at Petco in Park, but yeah, I think some of the attention is going to dissipate, Jim, if they continue to play like this. I think that's reasonable. That's how fans are.
Well, they already set the record for most sellouts in a season, so
which is amazing.
They're good there.
Yeah, I think they are good there. Okay, let's get back to the supers in a moment. Going to get back to the supers in a moment. Thank you for your support. Click the $ below the chat box. We will get to all of the supers here tonight. I do want to thank Mark Nimitz. Jim wants to do the same thing. He's our title sponsor. I've been talking to Mark throughout the course of the day. He's frustrated. Everyone's frustrated. Mark Nimitz at Farmers Insurance. If you have insurance needs, he is your go-to guy. He's our title sponsor. He's been with us now for multiple years. He can save you $750 or more on your insurance just by switching over to him. I've got a homeowner's policy. I've got an earthquake insurance policy. I've got a life insurance policy with Mark, and take it from me. He's a great insurance agent. I had a claim in here. He took care of everything. I hate all of that. The process, Mark makes it easy. I sent a text off. He took care of everything, took care of all the paperwork, saved us thousands of dollars. So click the link in the description down below. If you have an insurance need, you get a free quote. That's right, a free quote online, auto, home, business, life, condo, renters, earthquake, more. If you support the channel, if you support our work, please support the title sponsor of the wrap-up show, Mark Nimitz.
Yeah, all his information always is above my head. mnimitz at farmersagent.com. When you reach out to our buddy Mark, who is definitely upset tonight, let him know that John and Jim from the wrap-up show sent you.
By the way, unlike John and Jim, a San Diego native.
That is true. So he's much better than us.
Correct. You can thank his parents. Austin, thank you for the super. He says they combined 5 hits after the 5th inning through 2 games. Yeah, I think they've scored all their runs in the first 5 innings of these 2 games. It's not great. I mean, that's the other side of the conversation, Jim. The offense goes quiet.
You mean like the thing that we should be talking about the most,
right,
but we're just
matters.
Fucking tired about talking about it. We're just gonna move on to, hey, we should just fire Bob Melvin instead.
Right. It's
when
right.
The main thing is the main thing with this team, and 1, they can't hit. 2, they're not any type of clutch on the team right now. 3, the big bats are all having career worst seasons. Well, two of them are in Manny and Xander, who are your 3-4 hitters, and Cronenworth as well. Cronenworth is having a god awful season. So yeah, no, let's not talk about that though. Let's talk about fire Bob Melvin. Fuck it, fire Bob Melvin.
I like that. I do. I really like where your head's at.
Yeah.
No, the truth is what will turn this team around is, their ability to hit. I mean, and
Because when those guys
unfortunately,
start
Bob Melvin
hitting,
can't really do anything regarding that or do a lot regarding that.
because when those guys start hitting, guess who becomes a better manager?
Bobby.
That'd be correct.
I mean, it's tough though. Yesterday you lose a Soto hitting 2 home runs. Today Tatis is 3 for 5. It's like, you're getting 2 hits out of Soto. They changed Machado, by the way, the second one from a hit to an error, which I think is right. He didn't get a second hit. Had a hit and an RBI. Bogart's a hit. Grisham 2 hits. I mean, did they have 10 hits in this game? I mean, they had 10 hits in this game. Win the game with 10 hits, and they didn't.
Is Bob Melvin perfect? Absolutely not. Has Bob Melvin made multiple mistakes? Absolutely. If you guys were here with us last year, we fucking destroyed him in the postseason a lot, and especially Game 5 of the NLCS when he didn't use Josh Hader against Bryce Harper. So if you think I'm a shill for Bob Melvin for this year, I'd be like, well, I would look at the players and what they're not doing first, and then you can look at what Bob Melvin's not doing, and then you can assess what the bigger issue is.
Carlos, I love you, but I disagree here. Thank you for the super. He says Machado got his bag, bought his home on First Avenue, Coronado, got that SoCal disease, which is laid back, chill, and not worry about anything. I don't think it's that. I really just don't. I mean, I think he's battled a little bit of health. I think maybe he's battled to some extent his own poor play and the team's performances. I think defensively, he's made some significant plays. I think offensively, for whatever reason, he'll have a moment or two and nothing more. I don't know why. I don't know why he looks different at the plate right now compared to 2022. I don't understand it, but I don't think it's because of a lack of effort.
He says he's joking.
I just don't. Okay, good. Okay, thank you.
Right.
Thankfully.
Because I'm pretty sure that's a take that a lot of people actually have. That's like legit. They think is legitimate.
It's not as simple as stuff like that. It's just not. I mean, someone like Manny Machado, who's heading for the Hall of Fame, who has signed multiple big deals, he's not getting complacent in the way you think he is. I mean, he wishes he was hitting 2. I promise you that. There's no way he doesn't. There's no way he's dealing with this well. There's just no way. Even if he takes it on the media and sometimes takes it on the fan base, maybe he doesn't do it the right way, but I don't think he's just cool with the way he's performed. I just don't. Vector, thank you, says we're in a toxic relationship with AJ's tenure. 2 good seasons makes us think that we are good, and when they are bad, fans just blame a manager instead. More on AJ than Bob, obviously, right, Jim?
Oh, 100%. 100%. Bob Melvin, does he get blamed for this? Absolutely, he does. Everyone gets blamed. Okay, if you think I'm not blaming Bob Melvin, listen to me very clearly here. Bob Melvin takes blame for what is happening this season. Okay? Does he take all the blame? No. That is what I'm trying to get through people's heads here, is that you can blame somebody without like wanting to having to fire them. Like we would, when Jace Tingler was here in 2021, we got to a point, and pretty much the same point as that season, maybe a little further in. We all knew this was what he was way over his head. We saw it, we knew it, everything. Yep. Do you feel like that about Bob Melvin, or do you feel like he's just not making right decisions?
Yeah, I mean, I think he's a little overmatched with his bullpen and with in-game decision-making, which isn't ideal, to be honest. I mean, the record in close games is horrific this year. It was a lot better, though, last year. I mean, no, but I don't think he's lost his clubhouse, and I think he's a credible, experienced winning manager.
Yes. Now, if Manny was hitting, and if Bogarts was hitting, and if this team was hitting just 230 with runners in the scoring position, it would be, you know how much different this would be? But hey,
a lot.
Shoulda, woulda, couldas are the greatest thing ever.
Someone, by the way, asked how, someone just put it in the chat. Someone asked how my dad's doing. He's doing better. I appreciate you asking. He had open heart surgery about 2 weeks ago. He's in a rehab facility right now, just building back strength. I appreciate you asking about my dad. All right. Let me get back to it here. Where were we? Brett, thank you. He blames it all on losing Profar, but that's a joke. Was Profar a glue guy? I have no idea.
Yeah, who else? Who else are you going to blame tonight? If you can't blame Bob Melvin, who else are you going to blame?
I mean, I guess you could blame the bullpen allowed runs in the 7th, 8th, and 9th inning, so it wasn't perfect. Even if you take out the 9th inning, the Jack Peterson home run. So bullpen wasn't perfect tonight. They weren't. And Seth Lugo was great. We haven't even mentioned his name. 66 pitches.
Yeah, he was great.
He was great. And by the way, why did he throw 66 pitches? He was on a pitch count. So they didn't just take him out.
Yeah, pitch count.
Juan Soto walks, thank you. People should be blaming the historically bad RISP, runners in scoring position offense, not Melvin. I mean, it's been awful. It's been
Melvin.
Awful.
Blame Melvin for that, too.
It's been awful. Andrew, thank you. He says, Xander contract seems like Hosmer Part 2. I wouldn't go that far. Players over 30 are on the downside of their careers. I agree with that. Why pay prime money for a guy with an 800 OPS at Fenway? He's a better player than what we've seen. He's battled this wrist. He has really struggled in May and June, and it's only year one of an 11-year deal. I don't think you can compare it to Hosmer. Sure, Hosmer didn't get near the money, but I'm nowhere near that point as of yet. But the point's valid. He has struggled.
Absolutely. If you're looking at this team right now and saying what player is hurting them the most, like it's Manny and Bogarts. Those guys, Manny, Bogarts, and Cronenworth, your 3, 4, 5 hitters tonight went 2 for 15, and they left like a million men on base. Mm-hmm. And that's not good enough. And this has been happening way too often with those guys. Way too often. And I don't know if Bogarts is hurt. I don't know what the fuck's going on with Manny. I think Cronenworth's on this decline in his career ever since he got brought up that people just aren't like looking at, and they're just looking the other way. And all of those factors are making it just, one of the worst seasons that those three guys have ever had.
Yeah, it's not a good combination, obviously. And that's, you look up and you're 3 games under 500, surprise. You got no production out of guys you need production from. So it's almost surprising they're not worse than 3 games under 500. If you're here, subscribe. If you're here, we appreciate the supers. Click the $ below the chat box. There's a lot to get to. Padres lose in San Francisco tonight. 4-3, walked off again. HBVV, always good to hear from you. He says, Frank is Dick Montfort or Buck's burner account. Listen, it is what it is. People are going to troll. When you do what we do for a living, look at Jim on social media. I'll get it as well. This is, it happens. Players get criticized. We'll get criticized. It is what it is. It's not personal with Frank. I really could care less. There's other people that have had similar opinions. But, don't start being ridiculous. Don't start making it personal with us. That's just utterly stupid. It's just so stupid. Crazy Raider Rat, thank you. Damn it, I wasn't even born in this country. I guess I'm not a legit Padres fan. My bad. Peace out, y'all. Thank you, Crazy Raider.
Peace out. Yeah, you can't. I can't believe
you think the Padres, by the way, only want fans from San Diego?
Right.
How many Padres season ticket holders are transplants? How many people in the city of San Diego are transplants? I'd love to know. A lot.
Yeah,
including basically everyone in our military.
Yeah, anybody covering a team anywhere, if you're not a born and raised fan of that team, then no credibility, none. Why would I want to listen to you?
Right, exactly.
I personally think it's better if you did not grow up a fan of that team, because then you're not making rash, emotional takes because you are so fired up if they lose. That's just me personally.
Do you know where Mr. Padre was born?
Oh, I want to say, not San Diego, up in LA.
I mean, who cares? But no one's more synonymous with San Diego sports history than Tony Gwynn. That's my point. And to say Tony Gwynn is anything other than a San Diegan is obviously a complete disservice to him and his family. Mm-hmm. Coastal Card Collector, thank you. He says, do the Padres have performance or culture problem? Oh, so is it beyond performance and more to like the DNA?
Honestly,
I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know either. I can't definitively say that there is, but you've been saying this all season. Like something is off.
Oh, I said it early.
And we've heard things. It's not too far off. How bad are they? Who knows? I'm not saying that it's like the worst thing ever. I'm not saying it's the best thing ever. I'm just saying that the stuff that we've heard, the stuff that we've read, obviously, like reported on, and this just watching this team every single day, it's hard not to say that something is just off. Or
there's
not
something
off,
off.
it's something off. Something's off there.
And maybe we'll get to the bottom of it at some point. Maybe not. I mean, listen, Kevin Acey, as recently as 2 weeks ago, said, essentially, paraphrasing now, a reckoning is coming. What was the word he used? Fissures?
Fissures, yeah.
And that if this team doesn't make the postseason, it is very conceivable to envision a reckoning. It's not the exact word he used, but that's what he was saying. And it's hard to disagree with him the further you get into the season. JD Gacho, thank you for hanging out. Thank you for your support. He says, this is why we love John and Jim. This is why we love you.
Thanks, JD Gacho.
Richard, thank you. He says, Dodger fan or fam here. I enjoy your radio show. I respect your passion for the Padres. Enjoy your takes. Both of you do a great job. Labor of love. Thank you, Richard. And I get it. By the way, I appreciate it. When people are here that aren't fans of the Padres, we appreciate it because we get it. I mean, it's not like we're not expecting. So like, there's going to be fans of other teams. That's fine.
Someone on social media said tonight that my Twitter is like shit.
Mm-hmm.
I was like, thanks for following me. Like, you follow me. And they were like,
right.
You at least to acknowledge it. I'm like, okay, like, great. Cool. You follow, like, that's just, I appreciate you.
You'd rather be polarizing than, what's the word? You'd rather that than like apathy.
Yeah, like people irrelevant.
Don't care. Yeah, exactly. And
I'm just being myself. I'm not doing an act here. Like, this is no act on social media, on the radio, right. On wrap-up show. Like, this is just
Jim is capable of acting.
Come on.
I'm saying, like, this is you. Like, you're you is my point. Joshua, thank you. Very generous for the super chat.
Thanks, Joshua.
Born and raised in San Diego, 38 years. These two put together something that at the end of the day brings this community together. Respect to John and Jim for representing the city. Stay classy, Frank. Joshua, that's very kind.
Thanks, man.
And it is, you know what I noticed, Jim, the other night at the Blind Burrow, I think it was last Friday, is that I love when I see our viewers interact with each other in like a social setting, like, or maybe it was actually at the ballpark with Carlos and Richard, and then they were talking about like Crazy Raider Rad or someone else. And like, it's an amazing, I love seeing that. I mean, I love, that's the power of YouTube. And by the way, the radio too. I mean, it's an amazing medium, but the power of YouTube is really incredible. And it's amazing how you guys all interact with each other. And it's so cool to see.
It is. And to Joshua's point there about representing the city, like, I have lived here for so long. I consider San Diego like my home, and I met my fiance here, got my first run in radio. John, your Jones was born in San Diego. Yeah. I'm going to get married in San Diego. I proposed to Aaron here. I think that San Diego is a place that I will always love, and John will always love. And if we weren't born here, then sorry, not sorry, but to not think that we don't love this city is complete false.
Programming announcement though: the Dodgers wrap-up show starts Monday, which
yes, and then I'm going to start a Giants
better year.
I'm going to start a Giants wrap-up show after that too,
and then Diamondbacks. They've all had better years. We want to cash in. That's what we're going right to the Dodgers. This hasn't been as fun as we expected. We want a team from a larger city. Just kidding. All right, let's get back to the Supers. JD Gaucho, thank you. He says, if Bo Mellis can get Kleofkoff, say it.
Kleofkoff.
To replace him.
George Kleofkoff.
No, that's a whole nother conversation. SGL Stevens. Actually, let's get right back to this. We're going to get right back to the Supers in a moment. We do need to make sure to thank the people that support our channel day in and day out, like our viewers, our partners here on the wrap-up show, like Aura, ORA.organic, like Mark Nimitz, local business. We work with San Diegans, folks like their co-founder, Will, who was born and raised in San Diego. They have offices right here in Liberty Station. Plant-based nutrition. Every single one of their products is plant-based. If you're looking to get healthier, they can help you. If you want to support this channel, they can help you as well. They have a probiotic, which I've taken every day for over a year. My wife's been taking it probably for a month plus as well at this point for digestion, heart health, mental clarity. We all could use it. They have proteins for after workouts. They have pre-workout supplements. If you're taking an omega-3 oil or a fish oil, you can take their omega-3 oil, sleep pills, immunity pills, literally something for everyone. Free shipping right now and subscription orders over $50. So you can click the link in the description down below. You can get to Aura, ORA.organic. You can shop and browse as you watch the wrap-up show. If you support our work, if you're looking to support a local business here in our community, check out Aura, ORA.organic.
Yeah, if you want to live a healthy lifestyle, go to Aura right now, www.ora.organic. Their website has everything you need to live a healthy lifestyle. Go check them out. Will, who is a lifelong Padres fan, just had a newborn recently. He is a huge reason why this wrap-up show is here. So help support our sponsors, especially Will. And it's a healthy lifestyle. And what's wrong with what's worse than having a healthy lifestyle? Like,
We could
go
use
there
it.
right now, get us some supplements, and John, you'll thank us later.
Yeah, no doubt. There'll be a lot of thanking going on later. All right, let's get back to these supers. On what has been an interesting first couple of games of this series. I mean, the Padres are playing well heading into San Francisco. We said danger zone, bullpen game one because of the usage in the previous series, and then Seth Lugo game two. Now, Lugo was great, but it was a big unknown coming off the IL. So it was a dangerous spot, and they are clearly behind the eight ball at this point. Let's get back to this. SJL Stevens, thank you for the generous super. He says, if bats were doing damage, AJ and Melvin would be considered geniuses. But that's sports, and I agree, and that's sports. And if, I mean, if Klay Thompson looked more like Klay Thompson, then whomever the GM or the president of operations in Golden State was would probably still be there. But you're relying on these players to perform. It's a big business, right? I mean, it's high pressure, public facing positions like AJ Preller and Bob Melvin. They get paid handsomely, and these players need to produce. And yes, ultimately it's on the players, but when the players don't produce, Jim, what happens? These are the people that take the fall typically.
Yeah, it's the notion that you could do with every single team in every single sport. Players don't play well, it's the manager's fault. Players play well, manager looks or coach looks amazing. Like, it's just that's how it works, dude. I mean, think Darvin Ham is like a great coach, or does he have LeBron and Anthony Davis on his team?
You're right. Was Joe Torre a good manager, or was he managing the Yankees? Go look at his previous managerial stops. He didn't win. You know where he won? With that roster put together by Brian Cashman, right? And
Yeah,
drafted.
is Bob Melvin a shitty manager, or is it his players not performing and this pretty much the same players he had last year that made it NLCS?
And does his organization, to your point yesterday and again today, and I do agree with it, does his organization put him like under a magnifying glass that makes him look worse than maybe he would be elsewhere? Would he look better in San Francisco? Would he look better in Oakland, previous regime, or, before this debacle? Would he
Right.
look better in name the spot? It's definitely possible.
You put Bob Melvin as the manager of the Atlanta Braves. People are saying Bob Melvin's the best manager in the sport.
Yeah, good. Yeah, that's definitely possible. It is.
You put Bob Melvin as the manager of, I don't know, Tampa Bay. Like, he's the best manager in the history of the sport. And guess what?
He was good if he would manage the Dodgers the last 5 years. Probably he probably would.
Guess what? He pretty much was like the manager of the Rays because he was dealing with Oakland and their constrictions that about payroll, the same thing that the Rays are dealing with, and he took that team to 97 wins, 96 wins. Manager of the year, multiple postseason runs, albeit that's okay. Postseason runs were all disappointing with the Oakland A's.
Yeah.
There's no question about that.
Yep.
But like, he still has done it, and does he make mistakes? Absolutely. Has he fucked up? Absolutely. Are we going to criticize him? Absolutely. But he's no Jace Tingler and he's no Andy Green.
No, I agree with that. I do. Ryan, thank you. He says Padres less than 4 runs again. Also, what's Hader's walk rate? Did he have 2 walks tonight or 1? It was 2, right?
He walked 2 guys, dude.
And he pitched, a third of an inning? So here's the numbers. So in 28 and 2/3 innings, he has issued 14 walks, which is essentially 4.5 walks per every 9 innings, which is way too high. Now, even for a guy that gets as many swings and misses and as many strikeouts as he gets, he shouldn't be over 3 walks per every 9 innings. I mean, he could be a tick up because of the strikeouts, but 4.5 walks per every 9 innings is too high. And his numbers are amazing. He gets away with it. By the way, this is not an earned run for him, the 2 walks. So he can get away with it a little bit because of his swings and misses, but it's too high. I agree with the point from Ryan. Daniel, thank you. He says, so trade Soto, or are we extending him in the offseason if we miss the playoffs? Who replaces AJ if fired? I mean, these are forward-thinking questions, Daniel. I mean, it's a little bit like, who said it today, Jim, was on the text line. It's like at the end of the year with Melvin, you either fire him or you extend him because he's got 1 year left. And with Soto, it's like, yeah, I get your point. It's decision time. You got 1 year left. Are you extending him? Are you trading him? Are you walking? You're going to let him just walk after that trade at the end of 2024? So that's a good point. In regards to replacing AJ, I have no clue. I have no clue what that would look like.
Yeah, easiest answer is Theo. Or you
He
find
wants a roster that has no flexibility.
Yeah. Or you honestly find a way, because the situation in Oakland is shit, to try to pair Billy Beane back up with Bob Melvin. Now, you'd have to give Billy Beane all the power in the world like he has in Oakland, but that's what AJ Preller already has. So there's options there, but you'd have to go like that route. I don't feel like you could do like anything else and keep Bob Melvin, because if you bring in some other guy that nobody knows, who says that it's going to work with Melvin? It might, but I mean, this roster construction has been shit under Preller, and there is no cohesiveness between, I feel like, the front office and Bob. They have been a very average team for the last 2 years, except for that postseason run, which, you give all them credit for. Absolutely. But it's just, I don't know. If you're a Padres fan, do you want them to tank this year, and so there's actual legitimate change, or do you want them to scratch and claw and just like get in as the last playoff spot and probably end up losing in the wild card round? Like, what do you want as a Padres fan?
It's way too early to tank. You know what I mean? Like,
No, I'm not saying tank.
I know.
But like,
I mean, it's way too, not tank, but it's way too early to punt, not tank. It's way too early to be wishing that there's change when you have a roster like this. Don't you think? I mean, they're 35 and 38. Again, if it was the Cardinals record, which is what right now, if they were 31 and 43, you're thinking long and hard. You're saying, is it realistic? Are we digging out of this? By the way, the Cardinals have won 4 straight. You can't even quit on the Cardinals. They're 8 games out in their division. St. Louis is closer to first place in their division than San Diego is.
And they have the worst record in the National League. Well, second worst.
St. Louis is closer to first place than San Diego. St. Louis, mark my words, could win that division still, because it's St. Louis. It's not going to happen, but they could at least. I bet at one point this year, St. Louis will be within 5 games of first place in that division. So, yeah, it's an interesting time. But no, don't you think though? Again, I get if you're 12 under and it's September 1st, start making changes. Start thinking about the next year. If you're 12 under August 1st, we can have that conversation. But they're not 3 under. It's way too early. It's just too early to be thinking about 2024, I think.
Yeah, if they're 12 games under on September 1st,
well, then it's over for the year.
Then everyone's packing their bags. Yeah. You're not seeing any fight out of this team.
You have to go like 26 and 3,
You're not seeing any. Yeah, it's a mail-it-in situation for the rest of the season at that point.
Yeah, no, I agree. Guys, if you're here, we really appreciate your support of our partners like Underdog Fantasy. We've been telling you about it for a long time. A lot of our viewers have been taking advantage of the offers, including the 7th inning stretch draft contest they have going on right now. You draft, they do everything else. We'll set the lineup. They'll do the waivers. There's no waivers. There's no trades. They set your lineup every single week. It's $7 to enter. You can win a part of $150,000 in total prizes. You can sign up from now until July 14th at UnderdogFantasy.com or on the Underdog Fantasy app. Use promo code PADSWRAP, PODSWRAP, and get a 100% deposit match up to $100. Again, promo code PADSWRAP. Get a 100% deposit match up to $100. You're looking at UnderdogFantasy.com right now. They have drafts going on for the upcoming NFL season right now. They have daily drafts in Major League Baseball starting at $3 per draft that are going on literally right now. And then there's the pick'ems that we've been telling you about for a long, long time. It's so easy to win in the pick'em contest. We'll show you, for example, tomorrow night. I'm taking a higher on Ellie De La Cruz. Cincinnati's won 10 straight, by the way. Amazing and concerning, when you look at it from a Padres perspective.
Will the Padres ever have a 10-game winning streak? Like, when was the last time they had a 10-game winning streak?
I have no clue. 10? I mean, what's the franchise record? It's
got to have been years.
Tatis, 12.5 fantasy points. Give me a break. Lower. I don't even. I mean, that's a
Lower,
lot. Who's pitching him? 12 and a half?
dude. Fernando Tatis Jr. is the only
Dude,
one doing worth
a
a
home
damn on
run's
this team.
10. He's going to homer and. Yeah, I guess actually a homer and run. Is a home run and a run 12?
Dude, he's 3
And an
for 5
RBI
tonight.
14?
He was 3
Okay,
for
look.
5 tonight.
Okay, higher.
And in the month of June,
he's hitting like 1,500 OPS.
Yeah. Here's
Okay, your
his
point,
June.
Chow.
Here's his June numbers. You ready for this? Ready? He's hitting 400 with a 1302 OPS.
Yeah, that's good.
It's very good.
Look at this. You can pair this with all NFL season picks. So there's all kinds of things you can do. I mean, it's really fun. Again, if you just get these two right, De La Cruz higher, Tatis higher, $25 wager, pay $75. I mean, $25 wager, pay $75 bucks. UnderdogFantasy.com or the Underdog Fantasy app. Use promo code PADSWRAP, Pods Wrap. Get a 100% deposit match up to $100. I thought it was a 9-game winning streak in 2021.
Yeah, I thought it was 2. Maybe we're wrong,
Maybe
but
it was 10, yeah.
even a 9-game winning streak. Holy shit.
I thought it was a 9-game winning streak all at home. I thought they swept a 9-game homestand, which is amazing considering they can't do anything at home.
Mm-hmm. But if that's like the thing here is like 2021 and then you have to go back to 2009, that's not good.
1999. I mean, 14 games is crazy. That's long.
Wow.
I mean, I don't know if hopefully we're not making this analogy, Ryan. We have been talking about this off air, by the way. Did you hear this? There was banging in the submarine today.
Dude, yes. I was telling my roommates
Aaron?
before we went on, like that they picked up on sonar or something, some banging that was at the bottom of the ocean.
Rescue? What's even the rescue attempt? Let's say you find people living. How do you get them out, or you lift the device?
Here's the thing. That thing was bolted shut. They can't, like, the only way you can open it is from the outside.
Got
so
you.
If you're inside that thing, you're bolted shut and you're in a death trap.
So how do you lift? Could they lift it? If they got to it, could it be lifted with a device?
I'm sure. I don't know. Well, I'm not a fucking
I'm not going down in that
marine,
thing. I mean,
like, expert.
Like, again, I feel for those. I mean, that's completely unfortunate. But I mean,
Yeah,
you're going
man.
to the deep depths, and
it's my literal worst fear. Is
it's not
dying.
great.
Is not only, well, dying obviously is one, but dying in a closed off, like, small little space. Like, you ever see those, like,
It's not great.
Those cave divers, and they like are crawling in the caves, and they're like getting through areas that are like this big.
No.
Like,
oh yeah, that is scary. I know what you're talking about.
No fucking chance. That's what I would feel like if I was down there. I'd be like, just open this hatch up and just end me in 2 seconds. I can't stand it in here.
Can they do that? So you're saying they can't even do that? Wow.
They can't even do that. They're stuck in there, dude. So the only way, if they're still alive, is they're all going to die because the oxygen is going to run out. They can't even, like, just off themselves and open the hatch. And
Thanks for. I appreciate the.
But no, I'm just saying, like, it's literally the worst imaginable way to go. You're stuck in a van-sized thing 3 miles deep in the ocean with no way of getting out.
See, it could be worse.
with a freaking remote, with a PS5 controller that's manning the ship.
Yeah, what was that all about? I saw that. Yeah. And by the way, didn't the people that are in it pay tens of thousands of dollars for the opportunity?
They paid $250,000.
Oh my gosh. Yeah. By the way, can you see? Is there a link?
It could get worse, guys.
It can. Yeah, no doubt. I mean, yeah, it can absolutely get worse. Is that link pinned at the top of the chat for MLBshop.com? I think it is, and I'm trying to find it. By the way, Padres All-Star Game caps, the official on-field cap and the official workout cap are now available. I'll put a link in the chat right now. It's also pinned at the top of the chat if you want to pick these things up. We are partnering with MLBshop.com. Jim has given you his opinion. He has said trash. Here's the thing. I like the mint color of the Padres on-field cap for the All-Star Game. I don't like that side logo.
I don't mind this. I don't mind the side.
Mm-hmm.
I don't mind the side logo on the Padres brown and gold hat. But
I like the brown and gold a little more. Maybe this should be the on-field, you know?
That's what I mean. That needs to be the official hat. Ever since, I think it was Was it 2019 or 2021? I forget what year it was. But when they stopped or they started making on-field jerseys like that were specific to the All-Star game, I think it was 2021
Yeah,
when they started.
I
And it
remember
was
that.
Tatis's first year as an All-Star at shortstop. And they had those horrific uniforms in, I believe, Colorado. It
Yeah, I
was
remember that.
so bad. I'm like, oh my God, when did we get away from just them wearing their regular home and aways and then like the on-field hat that had a patch on it? Like, we're getting too cute here. Like, what are we doing? Because I guarantee you the jersey for this year is going to be the exact same colors as that.
Right. Yeah, you're right. They're gonna make it match that mint. You're right.
It's going to
I mean,
suck.
again, we're getting a little too cute. I mean, we're
Like
just
last year, I
getting
thought
a
it
little.
was cool. I thought last year's All-Star Game jerseys were cool because it was the same font as they have for their home and aways, except it was just like gold lettering. Like it was just all gold.
That's right.
And then the
Right.
black hats with the gold
Yeah.
on it. I thought that was cool. I like that style.
Well, I bought the hat, remember? And I was like,
Yeah.
Dodger love it. I'm like,
Dodger
wait,
lover.
is it? It's an All-Star game hat for San Diego.
I thought those were cool. But if you're going out of your way to make these like specific uniforms that has nothing to do with their actual team's jerseys, the players' jerseys, that's when it's like, what are we doing here, guys?
Likelihood of a split, falling behind 2 games to none with Darvish and Snell. I mean, it's not outside the realm.
Low.
You say low?
Well, I just think the way they're playing and the way the
Yeah,
Giants are playing,
I
and
know.
you know, Josh Hader in San Francisco on that mound. Even the second he went in the game, did you hear what Mudd said? He's like, "We know that Josh Hader does not like the mound here in San Francisco." Boom, walk, game over.
And he also doesn't like coming into a game mid-inning in a non-save spot.
Oh my God,
Covers
it's
that.
crazy. Like, I mean, you walk two guys to just fuck, dude. Like, who's pitching tomorrow? So we got tomorrow
Darvish.
is Darvish versus Walker. Okay. And you got Thursday, you got Snell versus Wood. Snell's been fantastic,
Mhm.
and Darvish has been
Not great.
not great. So we'll see. I feel like you have to get a split now because if you don't get a split here, then you're gonna have to sweep either the Pittsburgh series or the Washington National series to get to that 17-10 mark that I'm like saying they need to go.
I mean, Pittsburgh, maybe they've really fallen on hard times. The
Yeah.
Nationals, I don't know. Maybe. They haven't showed it to me at home, you know?
No.
They did this past homestand 4-2, beat the Rays 2 out of 3. I mean,
Their first winning homestand all year long.
and by the way, we didn't even mention this. Is so dumb. On a 2-2 pitch prior to the first walk, he
Oh, you
took
were
a
so
pitch
mad
clock
at that.
violation.
You're so mad at that.
It's so stupid. Give me a break. We're in a tie game. Let the drama build. He can have an extra second.
Yeah,
The world will
dumb
keep spinning.
Dumbest shit ever.
I'm with you. Guys, thank you for your support. Please subscribe year-round content for Padres fans. We ask that if you are here, that you support our work by subscribing. Please smash the like button as well. You can follow us on Twitter at John Schaefer, at Jim Russell SD. If you're watching on replay, we appreciate the super thanks as well. Really do appreciate your support. Please support our partners, Mark Nimitz at Farmers Insurance. If you have insurance needs, turn to a San Diegan that can save you $750 or more. There's a link for Mark's website in the link down below. Our buddy Will at Aura does great work, has been a huge supporter of our channel, is a San Diegan, ora.organic. If you're looking to get healthier, click the link in the description down below. Use promo code PODSWRAP, PADSWRAP, and get a 100% deposit match at UnderdogFantasy.com or on the Underdog Fantasy app. And if you're looking to pick up that brand new Padres All-Star Game cap or the workout cap for the All-Star Game, click on the link that is pinned in the chat or click the link down below. Find the MLB Shop link. Padres fall. We'll be back with you tomorrow at 3 on John and Jim. Tomorrow night, following game 3 of this Padres Giants series. For Jim, I'm John. This has been the Wrap-Up Show.